Okay, hello and welcome to another video. So, literally probably half an hour ago or so, I recorded a video of looking through my Ogerpon deck, Pokemon trading card game. Well, I'm already doing another one. Before I even edit the other one, I'm just getting these ready because I don't have to set up the ring light again, honestly. So let's just get into it. This deck is I occasionally switch between calling it my Sylveon deck and the Lapras deck. It has way too many EXs in it, and it's the deck that in the last video I mentioned that I wanted to do soon. And that's why I'm doing it now, and also that I wanted to split into two decks, which I do. But let's do that aside. Let's just begin. So the first two cards we'll look at: Lapras EX. I don't know why, but my favorite decks that I have all seem to have attack based on energy. But this one's really good. So Lapras EX. The first attack, if the camera will focus, is Power Splash. This attack, it's it just needs one water energy, and it does 40 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. I can't believe that. That's so powerful. 2 energy does 80 damage. That's enough to knock out a basic half the time. Anyway, then it has its another move which makes it even more powerful, which is Lapras Rain. A water energy, a psychic energy, a steel energy. By the way, this is why it's a 4-type deck. If it wasn't obvious. But it's look at the top 40 cards of your deck, attach any number of energy cards you find there to your Pokemon any way you like. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. You don't have to discard them or anything. So I think it's obvious why this one's powerful, right? In most cases, every single one use of Lapras Rain will be able to charge up every Pokemon on your bench. By the way, this is the card sleeve. Funnily enough, it shows the 4 I care about. Well, it shows Eevee, which I like. Then the 4 evolutions I care about, and the 4 that I don't. Sorry to anyone who likes Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, or Espeon, but these are my favorites. Quick ranking: my favorite Sylveon, then probably Leafeon, then Glaceon, then Umbreon, then these in this order. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Brief tangent. Then we've got Xerneas EX. I'll need an EX count at this point. Aurora Beam for 50 for a Psychic Energy and Carlos. Then for 2 Psychic Energies and Carlos, 120 damage, Rising Horns, and if your opponent's active Pokemon is Pokemon EX, this attack does 100 more, so 220. If I'm in a casual battle, I'll generally make a rule. I'll generally try to get them to agree on the rule of this counts as any Pokemon in the rule box, so Pokemon V and stuff, because I've seen people use Pokemon V. Anyway, Wellspring Mask Ogerpon. This is Wellspring Mask Ogerpon EX. Did I mention that there are too many EXs? Anyway, has Sob, which does 20 damage. And during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't attack. If this was its only move, that would be terrible. But it's not. It also has Torrential Pump, which is where it becomes useful. 1 water energy, 2 Carlos, it does 100 damage. You may shuffle 3 energy attached to this Pokemon into your deck. If you do, this attack also does 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Really good. Although I am thinking of getting rid of it, but that's beside the point. We have Finizen. This card is really bad. It's Aqua Slash, 30 damage, and yet during next turn the Pokemon can't attack. But move that aside because it's no, I won't move it aside. I'll just keep it there because then it evolves into Palafin, which is unsurprisingly, also terrible because it's Palafin. We are going to ignore that ability for now. basically all you need to know is that if you move it to the bench, it can turn into Palafin EX. That's literally all it is. Like, then there's Wave Splash, which does 30 damage for 2 energy. I forget how bad it is. But then you have Palafin EX, which makes it kind of worth it because of Giga Impact. So first of all, Hero's Spirit is an annoying ability just because of it means that it can only evolve from 0 to Hero. But Giga Impact, for 1 water energy, it can do 250 damage. And the only downside is that next turn the Pokemon can't attack. Oh, by the way, it has 340 HP, so you can just like do that, tank a hit, done. But we won't talk about that. We won't discuss how overpowered that is. Next is Chien-Pao. Snow Sink. When you play this Pokemon from your hand into your bench during your turn, you may discard its Stadium and play. That's cool. Icicle Loop for 2 water energy and a colorless. Put an energy attached to this Pokemon into your hand, which I find to be kind of pointless. Well, no, let me correct myself. It's pointless if you think of that as a downside, but it's really good as an upside, because if you want to move an energy, then you can do that. You know, you could just take it off of Icicle Loop and then do that. Also, 120 damage is good. Then there's Enamorus. So Heart Sign does 30 damage for 1 colorless energy. Not the best, but oh well. But then there's Love Resonance, a really powerful move. For 1 psychic energy and 2 colorless. If any of your Pokemon in play are the same type as any of your opponent's Pokemon in play, this attack does 120 more damage. 200 damage from that. I'd say that's worth it. Which is actually especially good in this deck, since there are, I think, wait, there's Psychic and there's Water. There are 2 types. It feels like there's more because there's actually 4 types, but 2 of those types are only used in moves. So yeah, there's 2 different types in here. Then there's Screamtail, Slap for 30 damage for 1 Psychic Energy. Then Roaring Scream for a Psychic Energy and a colorless. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each damage counter on this Pokemon. You know, that's quite good. Oh, and one of your opponent's Pokemon is good, you know. So if we reach 10 damage on it, it'll do 20. So that's good. Here we go, Prismatic Evolutions Promo Eevee. One of the only things that make the Prismatic Evolutions any good. Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer Box any good. I will always hate the Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer Box because I had to buy it for double the price because of eBay, and it was sold out, so I had to buy it for like extra price on eBay, and it was not worth it. All the only good things I got were like the special illustration rare, Ogerpon, and the and this, and the damage dice and stuff like that. Anyway, ran over. It has 50 HP, not the best, but its ability makes up for it. Boosted Evolution. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, it can evolve during your first turn or the turn you play it. And the Reckless Charge is a terrible move. But Boosted Evolution means that like the moment it's sent out, you can evolve it, which is brilliant because of what I have. This is just the same Eevee. This is Shroud Fable Eevee with Colourful Catch, which lets it take 3 basic energy and it has Headbutt for 20. Now, another reason this one has too many EXs, but this one is really good, Sylveon. Sylveon EX, 270 HP, it's the Terra, so it doesn't take damage on the bench. Now, Magical Charm, for 1 Psychic Energy and 2 colorless, so it can, if you may have noticed, it has the same conditions as those. Well, if it has all of those, it can use that, but anyway. It is 160, and your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon do 100 less damage. So this will then take 100 less damage before weakness and resistance. Then there's Angelite. Now this is why I have the lightning. I have like 5 lightning energy in the entire deck. It's all for Angelite. No other Pokemon uses lightning. Yeah, the consistent one is Psychic and Water. By the way, I also have like 5 Steel Energy, which is only for Larimar, Rain on Lapras, but anyway. Angelite. Choose 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon, shuffle those Pokemon and all attached cards into your opponent's deck. And the only downside is the Angelite can't be used the next turn, but it can be used afterwards. You don't discard energy, nothing like that. No. You just can't use Angelite next turn. By the way, I love this design, but that's probably just because Sylveon is one of my favourite Pokemon. Now, this is really useful because if your opponent's like charging up 2 powerful Pokemon on the bench, you can move them both into the pile. Move that there. Then we go into trainer cards. But yeah, like I'll really need that EX counter. 3 Cyber Maniacs. Code breaking. Search your deck for up to 2. Search your deck for 2 cards. Shuffle your deck, then put those cards on top of it in any order. If it said up to 2 cards, that'd be alright, I guess. But I mean, like, don't know why you'd pick less than 2 anyway. If you can only think of 1 card that you need, well, you can just take like an energy or something. I don't know. 2 Nest Ball. Search your deck for your basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. Simple. I'm getting a lot of cards that I just showed off in the last video. Oops. So, whoops. So, Gita. Actually, I'll go with this one because it's cooler. If I remember correctly, this is special edition rare. Focus. There we go. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. During this turn, your Pokemon cards act. Really good if you need to attach energy, especially for stuff like Sylveon or Lapras. Professor's Research, another card, but this one is a promo that I got from buying a deck box. Specifically from buying this, this Professor's Research, Professor Juniper one. I think this is a good deck box, honestly. Although it's like, apparently, I think it's like really old, it's from like 2022. Anyway, it's just discard your card, discard your hand and draw 7 cards. That's good. Serrano. Now, Serrano is really good in this deck because of how many EXs there are. Search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon EXs, reveal them, and put them into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. 3! Wow. Imagine that with a Eevee EX. Oh, I need that Eevee EX, honestly, at this point. Boss's Orders. This is a card that I did not have in the Ogerpon deck because I essentially just had Lizzie's Appeal instead. Switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot, literally just spot Lizzie's Appeal. Well, no, Lizzie's Appeal does what Boss's Orders does, but it also confuses the Pokemon. Once again, another repeat. I might say a repeat, you might not have watched the other one, so... Yeah. Switch your active Pokemon to your bench Pokemon. Once again, like, really simple, you know. Buddy Poffin. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less and put them onto the bench, then shuffle your deck. Once again, simple and can be used to find the Boosted Evolution Eevee. Well, this one's good in any Psychic deck. Moonlit Hill. Once during each player's turn, that player may discard a basic Psychic Energy card from the hand in order to heal 30 damage to each of their Pokemon. Really good. Really good, especially if you have that Drifloon and Drifblim from Surging. No, is it Paldean Fate? No, it's Surging Sparks, right? See, it might be Stellar Crown actually. Anyway, it's one that has everyone explode now, where it does damage hit each Drifblim and Drifloon on the bench. Well, no, in play actually, I think it is. It does like a certain amount of damage for each one, and then it does 30 damage to each one. So, you know, that would just recover it immediately, and all you have to do is discard a basic Psychic Energy, which is why it's so good. With Gloria, which is search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon that don't have a rule box and put them onto your bench. Kind of a shame I can't look for Pokemon with rule boxes, but you know. Professor Turo's Secret. No, that's not it. Scenario. There we go. Put one of your Pokemon in play into your hand. That's good if you really need to keep that Pokemon, but you don't mind losing all the energy on it, you know. What else is there? There's Jacques, which is search your deck for up to 2 evolution Pokemon, reveal them, put them in your hand. I could look for Sylveon, I could look for... Oh, I could look for Palafin, the normal one. By the way, I really hate the way that 0 to Hero works, where you can't just take it from your hand. You have to look for it in the deck, but whatever. There's Patrol Cap. As long as the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot, cards in your deck can't be discarded by effects of your opponent's attacks, abilities, item cards. Might replace this one eventually, but yeah, don't want much of what to say on it because I didn't really fully remember it. Then we have Bravery Charm. The basic Pokemon this card is attached to gets plus 50 HP. You know, I've shown that off before. With Poppy, I really like this art, this special edition rare. But move up to 2 energy from one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. That works well, I'd say. Then we have Sparkling Crystal. Focus. When the Terra Pokemon this card is attached to uses an attack, that attack costs 1 energy less. Can be of any type. That's so good because it means that like things like Lapras would only require like a Psychic and a Water. So if there was for some reason a way to swap between the Sylveon and the Lapras, then it would be able to do that and it wouldn't be able to change anything. So, you know, I think that works really well. Then we have the energy. Steel, Lightning, Psychic, and Water. As you can see, there's barely any psychic, barely any metal energy, barely any lightning energy, because literally there's just 5 of each, because they literally only use for Lapras and Sylveon. So that's a little detail. But then we have some special energy. We have Double Turbo, which is as long as this card's attached to a Pokemon, it provides 2 colorless energy and attacks do 20 less damage. Then there's Luminous Energy, and I actually have an ultra rare for this, but it's just like it provides an energy of any type, but if another special energy is attached, it provides 0. Here's the special, here's the ultra rare print. So that's good. That's it for this deck. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And goodbye.